Tony, make sure you're positive today and get your shots in nice and early. Dave, you don't probably realise Bobby Robson's here today. I'm sure he's come to see you score your goal to make it a century for the season.
Well, what a dream that was. I'm sure it must be every Unitedite's dream to actually play here at Bramwell Lane. I'm sure it's something that I'm never going to get a chance to do with my footballing talents. But one thing I can do now is to take behind the scenes at the Lane and let you have a look around and see how the club works. You may be wondering what I'm doing still sat in this bed. Well, this was actually installed as part of the fixtures in the chairman's office when the new stand was built. It's never actually been used since then. The present occupant of the chairman's office is Reg Brearley. But just what is the role of a football club chairman?
It depends on the size of the club, if we're keeping it to football. In many football clubs, third, fourth divisions, small clubs, you will find that the chairman plays the role of managing director, chairman, chief executive, come what may. But in the larger clubs, I think that it's more a figurehead. Same as this club, we have a managing director, we have our secretary, and we have a public relations, and we have a personnel, and so on and so forth. So my role is such that if there's something that the staff can't quite handle as far as the decision is concerned, then they will telephone and say, this is the problem, this is the decision that we would like to take, have you any objection? And you nod your head to it and say, no, come on.
Reg Brearley has said in the past that it was the loyalty of the supporters that filled this ground that first attracted him to Sheffield United. And for those supporters, there's no better sight than the ball hitting the back of the net. And boy, we've seen that a few times this season.
Probably look for Webster here. Gets the flick on. Todd. Now it's Dean. To Roberts. Good cross from Roberts. Bryson! Goal! United, Mike. Comes out to Webster. Comes to the Roberts. 2-0! Good deep cross from Pike. Dean. Garner. Number 3 for United. Pike in the corner. To flick on and it's Bryson. Bryson gets his second. And it's a goal there from Brian Dean. That's Pike again. Short one to Garner. Now Dean. And it's a goal by Dean. What a beautiful goal by Brian Dean. Wilder. Dean. And it's Dean's hat-trick. Another good goal by Brian Dean. Right balls to a Garner. And it's there. Someone's on to find Francis, who's very, very quick. Now a Garner. And there it is. There is number 5. That's Francis. To a Garner. And there it is. That's number 6. And it's Tony Garner's hat-trick. Webster gets on the end. And it's there. Yes. Again, and it's a goal. Yes. Good effort from Dean. And it's a goal. A beautiful goal there from Ian Bryson. That's the fight. Oh, what a shot. That's it there. Yes. Oh, good footwork. Cross Robert. Dean. There's a goal. Yes. Dean scoring for Sheffield United. Now Robert. Off to Dean. And it's there. Yes. Makes it 2-0. Malcolm Whitehouse who... It's there, yes! It's United's first goal! And it's a good goal! And here's Chris Wilder's chance to put United in front. And there it is! And it's there, yes! Ryan Dean makes it Sheffield United 2, Bury 0.
Feeds the ball out to Argana, room for the cross. Dean's in the middle. Snapshot came in from Todd. And into the empty net. Duffield. Argana. Duffield again. Around the keeper.
The football, although to us is the most important thing, Sheffield United is a complete business. And Saturday afternoons, even though the most important, are just one part of the working week. For example, the planning for a Saturday match starts weeks before for the commercial department, managed by Andy Dakin.
Certainly does, Dave. We've got a hell of a job on getting ready for the match just solely on a Saturday. And of course we have a varied life in the commercial department. We have to look at the situation long before the start of the season with regard to things such as the ground advertising that you see around you, getting match sponsors, match ball sponsors, stand sponsors, a whole host of things, even the disabled enclosure, which is just behind us now. We managed to get that sponsored this year, very kindly by the Westfield Health Organisation. Some of the things that we do keep going through the year, such as the fundraising side of events. We have the Blades Revival Club and the lottery, and we also run a Red Ribbon Club, which is done through the news agencies, and the souvenir shop keeps going all the way through the year. But many of the things we have to do piecemeal as and when jobs become available.
Does it make life easier if the team is winning?
It certainly does, David, yes. This season we're enjoying a great deal of success, and it is noticeable on the commercial side that things are improving, yes.
Also improving is the pitch at Bramall Lane, which is the responsibility of groundsman Glenn Northcliffe. So, how does he prepare for match days?
Well, we'd start on a Thursday by cutting the grass and spiking the pitch. On a Friday, we'd mark out, and that'd leave it ready for Saturday. Then Saturday morning is just a case of coming in, putting nets up, brushing track, putting corner flags out, and just generally checking everything's all right for match day.
Weather conditions occasionally force Jeff Taylor to carry out training sessions on a snow-cleared Bramall Lane pitch. But this is not an everyday occurrence.
Very rare, very rare. We have on occasions, but very rarely. We normally train at the university, but obviously with the conditions today it was treacherous up there, so we had to transfer it down to here.
So what about a training schedule? Is there a way that the week will work? Do you start doing different things different days?
Well, Dave Bassett likes to work on these dead ball situations because he feels there's good rewards from it. So we do a fair amount on that. We work normally at the end of the week on those sort of things, Thursday, Friday, where we're easing off. The main part, the first week, is the physical side, but we're working to get their bodies and minds right, working hard physically, plus the football.
Many other people have their planning to do for the match on Saturday. For the police, Chief Inspector Roger Purdy.
Fair amount of planning. We tend to plan from one week to the next, but for a match of this sort, then we should be planning certainly a good week or maybe a fortnight in advance.
Well, let's take it for instance of today. We're playing Fulham. Obviously, they've got a long way to travel. Their supporters should affect the number they're bringing up. How big an operation is it today?
I would say it's an average size operation. Fulham historically have not posed many problems for teams. Certainly here at Bramall Lane they haven't. We would expect today for them to bring, say, 500 or thereabouts and 2 or 3 coaches. So it's an average size police operation from our point of view.
One of the busiest places prior to the match is the ticket office, with staff having to deal with all sorts of applications for tickets for different parts of the ground. The facilities at Bramall Lane, as many people say, are more suited to the First Division than our present position. A superb executive suite, serving a full a la carte menu on match days. and the ever-popular social club, where many supporters gather before the match for a drink and a chat. Do you travel away with the Blades as well?
Yes, quite often, yeah.
And how do the facilities at Bramall Lane compare with those that you meet elsewhere?
Very favourable, very favourable.
Got a lady here. You travel quite a way to see the Blades, don't you?
Yeah, from Flamborough and Bridlington.
So how long does it take you to get to the games?
About 2.5 hours.
And do you travel home and away?
All home matches, but not many away now. I can't get from Brid.
Now, I don't normally ask ladies this, but would you mind taking your coat off? We don't have the music to go with it. Look at this underneath here. There we are. A true lady blade?
Yes.
Inside United's dressing room, the kit has already been laid out by the club's apprentices. The players arrive at about 1:30. And it's normally around this time that the match sponsors are given their guided tour of the dressing room and a chance to meet the players.
One of the Barclays players of the month for his performance last month. Obviously, we're all the shot.
And a big moment for mascot John Hobson as he meets his favourite player Brian Dean. All the formalities out of the way, Jeff Taylor and Dave Bassett give the team talk, a chance to remind the players of moves practiced during the week's training and advise on the likely plans of the opposition.
No, I think we get Smithy in the zone and Pikey you'd pick up there, OK? And the other side, Chrissy, so it's important. Then we get Toddy, you'd be looking for Wilson, OK? Yeah. So we get you doing the job on Wilson all the time. Yeah. So, you know, just make sure you can see him and the ball, because what he might do is, you know, like stuff would be deep, and he could be deep, and he'd be just going. Even in free play, like if the stuff's out that way, but, you know, we ought to try and hit the box. So, yeah, just cheat a little bit, OK? So, but it's important, Stan, that you, Smithy and Pikey, or the fullback, Chrissy Wilder, that if Toddy or our midfielder pushed over, he could be making that run on the blind side down the middle. So you could find that people are going out there. So it's important you've got your shoulders across the park so you can actually see if he's coming onto you. Because Walker or Barnett might be well wide, Pikey and Chrissy, they might be well wide, and Wilson's trying to get in the hole through you. So it might mean you've got to come in, you've got to see it, you've got to come in and mark him.
Well, get together! Hold on. What's that? Dan, come on! What's that? Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Bramall Lane. Smith finds Dean. There's a close call there by Dean. Long free kick. Duffield. Nicely chested down by Dean. And it's a good goal there by Dean. What a beautiful goal. There you see Dean pulling it down. And what a beautifully rifled shot there from Brian Dean. Fuller. Good cross. Comes to Barnett. A beautiful save there by goalkeeper Benstead. It could have really brought Fulham back into the match. Wilder. Good long ball. Nicely brought down by Francis. Looking for a 1-2. He picks Todd. Todd's effort pushed around the post yet again by Stannard. Corner from Roberts, all the way, and again by Stannard. Number 2 Marshall. Now Wilder, Francis, Dean, out to Wilder, good cross. And it was a good effort there from Duffield, and Stannard yet again. Marshall. Flicked on there by Gordon. Number 4, Wilson. Going through. Brought down. Penalty. Sayer. Good save by Benstead. Makes amends for the referee's decision. Wilder. Now Todd. Flicked on by Dean, again Stannard. Free kick to United. Dummy sold by Pike. Roberts' shot, and it's against the post. Dead ball situation from a different angle. Roberts' shot, and he's pushed onto the post by Stannard. Long throw from Pike. Dean. Stannard again. Free kick to United. Again from Pike. Teed up for Duffield. Just past the post by Duffield. Good long ball. Chase on for Dean. Now Francis. Nicely done by Francis. Good far post crash from Francis, and again Dean. And it's Todd. Don't be long to go now. Stannard. Gordon. And there it is. There's the final whistle down here at Bramall Lane. The score, Sheffield United 1, Fulham 0.
So, another goal that's won us the game.
Yeah. It happened straight after I got, I didn't really know what was happening, but, went in.
You took quite a knock on your head, and you must have thought at the time that you might have to come off.
Well, I think I knew what, I was conscious all the time, so it was just a matter of getting my bearings,
But that's another one to the tally, and another 3 points for the club.
Yeah, that's right. We needed those points, especially after a few defeats we've had, so a bit of confidence for all the players,
And it's not all pats on the back after a victory. They've had a few words to say to the lads.
I mean, Toddy, you're at the back, Smithy, you're at the back, Chrissy Wilder, don't you pull somebody out, Jones come on, get Duff out and get a short one. What do? All that Duff's got to do is come out and get hold of the ball between us. Toddy, you did all right. Duff, battled away. Pikey, you did, I thought you had a bad first half and you improved the second half. You kept yourself going, and I thought you two were as good the second half. All right, well done.
Time for a quick bath after Dave's post-match chat, the dressing room swept, and the new week starts on Monday. And Monday normally starts very busily for the club physiotherapist Derek French, treating any bumps and bruises that have been picked up in Saturday's game. This is where the treatment takes place. Let's go and have a look. Well, Derek, this is the magic bag that you take out with you Saturday afternoons and match times. What's inside it?
Well, we've got an assortment of medical equipment in here. First thing to come out is a broken finger. These are the sort of things that we use on Saturday when we run out onto the pitch. These we just use great bandage, obviously, for tying up anything like possibly a broken leg or broken limb of some description. This is just a water bowl. Tend not to use a sponge anymore. Vaseline, obviously, always important to take out. If there's any cuts, we need to cover them. Obviously, we also keep scissors in there for cutting any bandages or anything like that. An important addition, obviously, these days is a Brooks airway, which we use if any players are having difficulty breathing or anything like that. Just stick that down their throat and away you go.
So how soon do you decide what treatment is required?
Well, I mean, a physio's job is to watch the game very closely and obviously the contact that people make. So really you make an assessment As soon as you see someone go down, you've got a rough idea of what's happened. Obviously, then you get there. The first thing you have to do is ask the player. You know, they're the ones who can tell you most. So you ask them first, and they give you a good idea of exactly what's wrong.
Swift action on the pitch by Derek French. And Dave Bassett also moves quickly when he sees the chance to strengthen the squad by signing a new player. If I can just interrupt a second. Dave, come to see what's going on.
Welcome, Mr. Kilner.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, this is Bob Booker, a player from Brentford who's come to have transfer talks to me about the possibility of joining United.
So, Dave, Bob, when you sat here negotiating contracts, what sort of things do you talk about?
Well, obviously you point out our interest to the player that we would like him to join, what his job you'd want him to do football-wise, and then obviously you talk about financial terms in relation to what you're prepared to offer, what a transfer fee may be, and also the position with regards relocation.
So that's from the manager's point of view. From the player's point of view, what sort of things, Bob, are you looking for?
Well, after being at Brentford 10 years, it's been a bit of a shock to the system that someone like Sheffield United's come in for me, which I'm sort of a bit honoured by, well honoured. So I've just taken it from there. I've got Dave's been in contact over the weekend, so I've come up to, like you say, talk about the things that you just discussed here.
So you've got the contract there now in front of you. It's been offered. It's just a case of you waiting to sort personal details out before signing.
Right. Yeah, just ring home and tell them the situation and
that's
make
right.
a decision then.
So Dave, we've seen you there in the manager's role of negotiating with a player, but what else is involved in a manager's job apart from picking the team?
Well, most people think actually you turn up at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon and then sort of have the rest of the week off, and I often get invited to sort of go and coach school teams. No, I mean, obviously there's the involvement of the training during the week, the coaching, and obviously there's office work, there's letters to reply to, there's players' contracts that you need to discuss with them as and when it's required, transfers. There's a lot of paperwork to do. There's organising your scouts. I also go and watch a lot of games, and the staff go and watch a lot of games, i.e. to assess the opposition and also to look at players.
Do you enjoy the office side as much as the football side?
I don't mind it because I've obviously had experience from working in office for many years. I accept it as part and parcel of the job. I think as a football manager, it's not only the football, there's the office side of it, there's the media side, there's the coaching side. So it's all cut up into a cake, really, that you've got to be able to cope in each department.
You mentioned the media side of it. You are a very popular person with the press. The newspapers seem to like ringing Dave Bassett up to get your comments on things.
Well, I'm always game for a quote, so not always for the best advantage. No, I think it's part and parcel of a manager's job. I think he's got to promote his club, and obviously you're there. It's a sport where the media want to know what's going on.
What about your own days as a player? Because it's not probably well known about your own playing record.
I only had one season in the league. That was the first year that Wimbledon came in, and I became assistant manager halfway through that season. And I think one of the reasons that happened was to make me pack up playing at any rate. But I was lucky before that because I played for Wimbledon in the Southern League days, and that was being semi-professional and also working, and we had successful times there. But going back to when I was young, I had an opportunity to join Chelsea as a ground staff boy, but unfortunately I wasn't good enough and released, and I went into non-league amateur football. At that time I played for a team called Hayes and was spotted by Watford and invited to go there, and I spent a year at Watford playing in their reserve side, but did a stupid thing by playing football on a Sunday morning and broke my leg, which also at the same time stopped me playing at Wembley for Hendon in the amateur cup final it was at that time. I was then out the game for about 18 months due to the injury, came back and started to play for Hayes again and to get my fitness, and I then moved on to a club called Walton and Hersham, where I had a successful time because they did well in the cups. They beat Brighton when Brian Clough was there. They beat Exeter, Hereford in cup ties. And I also won the amateur cup there when I played at Wembley. We beat Slough Town 1-0. And also while I was there, I was part of the Great Britain Olympic side and also played for England amateurs on many occasions. So that was it. It wasn't really, unfortunately, the first division where I'd have loved to have played, but I knew my limitations.
What about the move to Sheffield? Obviously you'd spent most of your life living, in fact all of your life up to this stage, living down in the south. What about the move up to Sheffield? Was it a daunting one?
It wasn't for me. I felt that it was the right time. I was a bit concerned for my wife, but she's settled tremendously well. No, I love it up here, and we've settled, and I feel very relaxed, and everybody's been great, and obviously I'd like to stay here for some considerable time and make sure the team do well.
Sheffield United is fortunate to have the services of one of Sheffield's most famous footballing names. Derek Dooley has spent more than 40 years in the professional game, and his Bramwell Lane office is full of some of the many trophies he's collected throughout the years.
Yeah, that's right. 1948, June 48, when I signed for Sheffield Wednesday.
You must have some great memories.
Oh, yes, many, over the 40-odd years, and it's been great. Some good memories, some bad memories, of course.
What are the particular highlights that stand out for you?
I think, first of all, obviously when I broke the goal-scoring record at Sheffield Wednesday, 46 goals, and of course the same season we won the second division championship, and I've got a championship medal. I think that's my main highlight as far as the season concerned. There are matches where I scored 5 against Notts County and 4 against Everton and 4 against Hull there, all matches which I can vividly remember even now, even though it's a hell of a long time ago.
Do you ever look back and think what might have happened if you'd not lost your leg?
I often wonder whether I would have played it for England, Dave. You know, that, I mean, at that particular time, the newspapers were saying, well, yes, you've got a chance of playing for England, and I was just happy and delighted that I was playing for Sheffield Wednesday at that time. And I suppose I do look back and think what happened, but I'm one of the lucky guys that at least I was able to play, make a mark in the game, and at least say, well, yes, I've done it to second division level and at first division level.
What does it feel like now to be the managing director of a football club?
Well, if anybody had said that to me, Dave, when it was 40 years ago, that I'd been a director, let alone the managing director of a football club, I would have laughed at that. I enjoy the job. I love being involved in football, and to me, it's not work, it's a pleasure.
Another great Sheffield football name who can be found at the Lane is Tony Curry. Tony, one of the great idols of the 70s, finds himself now back at United, but not in a playing role, in charge of employment training.
Well, we go out into schools and in their playtime, in their games periods, and we coach them football. We take them for other games, non-stop cricket, indoor hockey, uni-hock, you know, tunnel ball, all sorts of games like that. That's in the schools. We organise bingo and tea parties for old age pensioners, and mentally handicapped, physically handicapped. We try and organise some five-a-side football and bring them down to the club for visits to the club.
What's it like for you working back at Bramall Lane? Does it bring back memories of the days when you were here as a player?
Yes, it's lovely to be back involved again, getting in the car and coming down to Bramall Lane. I don't get involved on the playing side of it like a lot of people think I do, but I feel I do a job for Sheffield United by going out coaching the young children.
Can't believe that.
We've already seen how the team prepare for a match at home. But what about when they leave the relative security of Bramall Lane, and in this case away from the league for a first-round FA Cup tie at Mansfield? Away day preparations depend on how far the team has to travel. In some cases an overnight stay will be involved, but a fairly short trip to Mansfield means the day starts with a pre-match meal in the executive suite. All light meals, such as omelettes, poached eggs, boiled fish, boiled chicken, with each player having their own particular favourite.
I've had poached eggs on toast. It's just because it's light, you know, you don't want something heavy for the match.
Well, I've had the cheese and tomato omelette because the poached eggs I think are minging anyway.
Well, that's why I had the poached eggs, because I didn't think it was very good.
It was alright. I've had the same as Martin because I'm pretty superstitious and I have that every week.
By this time the team has already been chosen, but do the players who are to be left out feel upset?
Well, some do. I mean, obviously it depends on the situation. Some accept that perhaps they're fighting to get in the team and they might be disappointed if they've come in and done a job, but I make sure the players know at the start of the season it's a team game, it's a squad game. We need players to be able to cover when injuries happen. But having said that, if a player comes in and does exceptionally well and shows me that he's right to do that, then I may mean that the player that's injured or left out takes a little longer to get back in.
Now, we've been sitting here watching you all eating the pre-match meals. How important is it that the lads get together to eat beforehand? Why not say a sandwich at home before they come down?
Well, I stopped doing it at Sheffield Bramall Lane. Last year they used to have pre-match meals here and I thought they were eating too much. I think you should come with a basically empty stomach prepared to play. So home games we don't meet, they just report at 1:30. Away games is important just to get in, just to get together, so we make it early, about 11:45, which means that the food that they take is digested and it's just basically a small meal. It's just to get us together, have a team meeting, then get on the coach and get and do the business.
So what about yourself and the rest of the management side who don't actually have to go out there and play? Can you tuck into the steaks?
No, we follow what the players have. We're all a team in it together. I can eat my steak tonight.
Transport for Sheffield United is provided by Cooper's Tours, and for the Mansfield game, Alan Cooper will drive the team coach.
This one is specially modified for football. As you know, it's got 4 tables in, a couch, microwave oven, You know, all the onboard facilities, hot cold drinks. So it is rather swiftly adapted to football.
This week we're talking just before the Mansfield game as you are driving the coach. Last week for the home game against Fulham you were actually sponsoring
That's
the match.
right, Dave, yeah. We sponsored the match along with some other companies in Sheffield. And really it's a way of just paying a bit of respect back and helping the club for them choosing to travel with Cooper's Tours.
The journey to Mansfield will take about an hour. So what do the players do to relax during the trip?
Well, there's loads of ways really. As you see, there's some lads playing cards, some like to read. Usually on the long trips we have a video on the bus, you know, a football video or a feature film. So there's quite a few ways to entertain yourselves.
All right, well, the noisy table on the coach is the table with Chrissy Wilder, Brian Smith, Mark Todd and Jeff Taylor on. Let's start at this side with Chrissy and Brian. What about your pre-match preparations? How do you like to build up for a match like the away trip today?
I usually have a quiet game of cards with Jeff Taylor making his own Cockney rules up, you know.
I think one thing that's been showing through this season is the great team spirit. Is this part of it, Brian, just the fact that you all come on and have a great laugh?
Yeah, I think everybody mucks sense together both in the dressing room and on the field, and it carries on the coach as well on the way to the games.
The coach arrives in Mansfield about an hour before kick-off, and for the players a chance to savour the atmosphere and inspect the pitch. Looking at the ground, we've just arrived now, it's starting to fill up. By the time 3 o'clock comes round, there should be something like 12,000 in here. That really should create quite a cup atmosphere.
Well, yeah, I think we've got quite a lot of the support, so, you know, as Tony says, it'll be like a home game.
And looking forward to teaming up again down the middle, because, of course, Tony, you've been covering for Ian whilst he's been out.
Yeah, you know, he's a bit of a pain, but, you know, no, I don't mind covering for him. You know, as long as we get the results, that's all that matters.
So how far have we travelled to get here today?
Long way. All for a good cause, though. Watch the Blades win.
Do you travel to most of the away matches?
Yep. Yeah. Newcastle, Man City, Bolton, Blackpool, you name it, we're there.
Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about membership schemes and things. Will that put you off coming to watch football?
No.
You'll still be there. And what about the treatment of away supporters?
It's all right. Man City, I'll give something. Man City, they were brilliant with us.
So, after a week's training, the team talk, the pre-match meal, the hour's travel down here to Mansfield, here we are in Field Mill for the FA Cup first round game. The atmosphere is electric. We've reached the point of no return. It's match time.
All ready for the start, and away we go. Kent. Number 2, McKernan. Now Mansfield. Tugboat back by Wilder. Now it's Bryson. Out to Agana. Good cross from Agana. Roberts getting a bang on the head. Bryson. Dean. Good save from Cox. Foster. Long ball. Finds Kent. Kent's going through. And it's a goal for Mansfield. Scorer, Kevin Kent. Todd. Now Agana. Finds Bryson. Good shot. Good save from Cox. Todd. Bryson. Nice ball, trying to find Dean. Good effort from Agana. Corner to United. Hooked off the line there by McKernan. And cleared away by Foster. Martin Pike. Well, the ball's in the back of the net, but there was a bit of pushing there. Kicked on by Webster. Now Agana, nice work. Roberts going a bit wide, pushes it out to Bryson. Bryson's cross. And again, hits the post from Agana. Now Roberts. Threading his way through is Roberts. 1-2, Roberts again. Good save again by Cox. Now from Todd. And cleared out gently by McKernan. Todd. Bouncing around Webster. Dean. Footwork by Dean. And he scores by Dean. What a classic goal from Brian Dean. Scores Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 1. Replay shows you the deft touch of Brian Dean there. And what a time to score. Kenworthy. Kent. Out to Kent again. Number 2, McKernan. Good effort, good save from Benstead. Number 3 gives it away to Dean. Just past the post with Foster looking in desperation. Nice Duffield. Good cross from Duffield, and again it's that man Cox. Pike. Good bit of work by Brian Dean. Foster. Loses out. Falls to Todd. Again it's Fox again. Headed clear there by Wilder. Another cross, headed this time by Smith. And there it is. There goes the final whistle.
So a 1-1 draw and all to play for in the replay back at Bramall Lane. The biggest disappointment of the afternoon, overshadowing the result, was the injury to Simon Webster, in which he sustained a broken leg. An injury which physio Derek French said was the worst he's seen in his time with United.
Well, as you know, it was right in front of us where we sat, and I mean, I knew straight away, obviously, that it was broken. And really, the first thing you've got to do is get to the player and try and reassure him as quick as you can, get his leg immobilised quickly and get him off to hospital straight away.
Throughout the match, the lines in the press box have been kept busy with reporters updating information to those listening back home. And afterwards, Graham Benstead spoke live on Radio Hallam to Peter Jenkins.
Well, Graham, 1-1 draw, replay sometime in the week. What's the feeling in the dressing room?
I think it's pretty low at the moment. I mean, we're disappointed to see Simon break his leg there, and I think it's taken, well, we're not very happy about it at the moment.
Complete accident. I mean, can you just, I know you know we're near the incident, but do you know exactly what happened?
Well, I think apparently Smithy dived in for the ball, and Webby's come round the back, and they've caught each other. I mean, I've done the same thing with him last week when I cut his knee. So a bit unfortunate. It wasn't his fault, just not his fault. It's one of those things.
I thought it was a great game. I thought it was pulsating. I thought it was everything a cup tie should be. Both sides contributed to that. Obviously, it was overshadowed with Simon breaking his leg.
Disappointed then with the draw, because there were chances to have won it?
Yeah, I felt that we had some great chances, and obviously some of our players would be disappointed with some of their finishing. We over-elaborated on one or two occasions. But having said that, it was a great game, and I think everybody had their money's worth and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, Brian Dean, that's goal number 14.
Yeah. What can I say?
Tell us about how the goal came.
Well, I'm not too sure about the build-up, but I know the ball dropped in front of me, and I had it on my lap, and there was a defender up my back, and I was just trying to wait for it to come round right, so that I could get a turn and a shot on it, and eventually it did, and it crept in the corner.
It seemed to take ages to get into position for you to hit it.
Yeah, that's right. I think I must have juggled it about 5 times. Something like that.
But the pleasing thing is the ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we put them under a lot of pressure, and I think we were a bit unlucky. I think we hit the post twice and had a goal disallowed as well.
Each night in the Star and the Green and on Saturdays, Tony Pritchett writes about United. By the time we return to Sheffield, the Greenham will already be on sale.
Well, we like to get the Greenham out literally within minutes, 15 minutes at the most of the final whistle. The mechanics of the thing are that we report the game more or less live as it goes on, which I must confess means that occasionally, like the players on the field, we make mistakes. We see the game as anybody else does. We get a blurred vision sometimes, we make mistakes. I've mixed Dean and the Garner up once or twice, and you can imagine why. So we do make mistakes, and we apologise for that, but we have to get the Greenham out on the streets when the crowds are leaving football grounds, which means that the publication must be printed, distributed, and out on the Sheffield streets by 5:15 at the latest.
So, Martin, pleased with what the paper has to say about you?
Well, that's a good write-up, yeah. But obviously, the disappointing thing was the incident with Simon Webster. It's ruined the whole day, really.
So what happens now for Martin Pike on a Saturday night, or is a Saturday night dependent upon the result?
Well, just go out and have a drink or something with the lads. But as I say, it's put a bit of a damper on it.
As well as reading about and hearing about the Blades through newspapers and radio, all United's home games are captured on video for supporters who couldn't make the game. Match commentator is Darryl Bentley.
Normally, through the week, I look through the papers because naturally that's the only way that I can get any information required, for match days. It would be a lot nicer if there was more information at my disposal, but I try to put certain things down. Regarding if a player's been injured, if he's the leading scorer, or any information relating to how the particular team they're doing on the afternoon is in the league. General little bits of information like that.
Tuesday night and the FA Cup replay against Mansfield. Once again a busy dressing room as the players prepare for the match, with various protective strappings being applied. Tonight's referee is David Scott.
Well, I did play football before I took up refereeing, but due to an injury in my leg, I had to give up, and so the next best thing, as far as I'm concerned, was refereeing, still being involved in the game.
I suppose in many ways it must be one of the most thankless jobs in football, because throughout the game you do tend to get a little bit of abuse from the crowd.
Well, it gives me a lot of pleasure. Obviously you can't please everybody, 22 players and spectators and managers, so you can't have football without a referee anyway, so it gives me pleasure, and that's the main thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's to welcome the Bramall Lane. It's the time for us to welcome the home side, Sheffield United.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this first round replay at Bramall Lane. Team coming out. Referee, in icy conditions. And now the players not playing tonight. Captain Paul Sanders shaking hands with referee David Scott. And Jeff Taylor and Derek French enjoying a nice cuppa. Roberts. Good cross. Good header from Dean. Flicked on from Dean, just past the post. Wilder with a free kick. Forward to Agana. Neat back heel from Agana to Wilder again. Wilder's cross, just past the post there by McKernan. Pike. Picked on there by Dean. Still not cleared, and now Roberts. Being forced by McKernan. Yes, he's crossing Bryson! 1-0! Ian Bryson scores. Well, from Roberts' cross there, you can see how far he was pushed wide. And good credit to Bryson. Now it's Todd. Agana. The conditions played havoc tonight. Now Pike. Good effort from Pike and a good save from Cox. Todd. Barnsley. Headed by Foster. Picked up again by Todd. Bit of shoving by McKernan. Todd! And just past the post by Agana. Corner again. This time it's Pike. Good corner. Onto the bar! Hooked away by the Mansfield defence. Pike. Good cross. Cleared away. Back in again. And it was Dean's header just going past the post there. Nice Roberts. Scampering down that right-hand side. Waits, he's looking for help. He gets it from Todd. Into Dean. Roberts. Agana. Well, he's trying to do too much there, was Alan Roberts. He should have made more of that. Now it's Wilder. Todd. No Agana. With Foster there. Being pushed wide, crosses, and it's a goal! Kenworthy scores for United. What a beautiful goal there by Tony Kenworthy. United 2, Mansfield 0. Now Pike. Long one. Todd. Now Dean. Cross by Dean. And a good effort there. Owen. Good cross from McCoy. And it's the number 12, Kearney, the substitute. Makes it 2-1. Can't be many minutes to go. And there it is, the final whistle.
So, Sheffield United progress to the second round of the FA Cup. But where will the club progress to in the future? Chairman Reg Brearley.
As far as the team is concerned and the league positions, that's a disappointment to me. I naturally thought that I could get First Division status within the 5 years, and here we are 8 years, and we've floundered a bit, but I'm hoping that we will pull that back with the manager we have at the moment, who has a different approach to the game and the club.
The club is a First Division setup with regards to stadium and the amount of fans we can get in, but unfortunately the team wasn't in that state. That was a third, fourth division team, and we've got to earn our right to climb up the leagues and obviously make the club stronger financially as well at the same time.
Well, unless you're an optimist, you ought really not to be in the game. You've got to be an optimist. I'm an optimist, and so is every supporter. We really have to, within this 5 years, be a top club, because I think the game is changing very fast. I don't know what effect this wretched membership card scheme is going to have, but it could well be that only the well-organised clubs are going to survive. A lot of people are going to take exception to them and I think ignore the game altogether. It's going to drive a lot of people away through infringement in their dignity and their privacy, and they're not going to subscribe to them. So I think the big clubs are going to be the ones that are left, and we are a big club, and we have to be there.
Well, that's just about it. Do hope you've enjoyed our little look behind the scenes here at Bramwell Lane, seeing how a modern-day football club works. I mentioned at the start how this bed had never actually been used since it was installed. Well, I've got to get up early in the morning. The alarm clock's here with me, so I think we'll give it a try and I'll see if I can get back to my dreams. Night-night.